welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley. It's Friday. We got a whole weekend ahead. Quick note before we get into the news. It is time for Extra Life, which means that we will be live streaming for 24 hours raising money for Dell Children's Hospital here in Austin, Texas. You can watch us here. You can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on our website. You can watch us on Twitch. We're going to be raising as much money as we can, and we will throw all dignity out the window in order to do so. So I hope you join us, but time for news. Okay, it looks like EA has scooped up another major developer, Respawn. Word dropped yesterday afternoon that Respawn will now be a part of EA's family of studios for the low price of up to $455 million. That shouldn't be too much of a surprise considering how these studios have worked together, not only on Titanfall, but also they've got that upcoming Star Wars game. Respawn CEO Vincent Pella said that's why this acquisition makes perfect sense. We have worked together for a long time from the inception of the studio. An acquisition has come up from time to time. The question was, where we are in the industry, how do we take the next step in making bigger, better games? We see the need for bigger resources to make bigger games. Now, Kotaku also has obtained some interesting documents showing that actually Nexon sought to purchase Respawn first, but EA had first right of refusal and they matched. The whole timeline's a little bit funny because Infinity Ward didn't they start Call of Duty as a fuck you to EA in the first place after the company tried to strong arm them following the release of Medal of Honor Allied Assault? Well, now here we are. EA insists that the creativity for Respawn to do what they want will still be there. Of course, we'll see how that proves out over time. EA hasn't exactly had a great track record lately when it comes to some of their biggest studios, and everyone is still smarting from the closure of Visceral, so everyone's understandably a little bit worried. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds developer Bluehole has announced a new game this week. It's not Battlegrounds 2, surprise, considering that game is technically not even out yet, but it is an MMORPG titled Ascent Infinite Realm. It's a steampunk fantasy game with ground and aerial combat. According to Bluehole, players can engage in PvP realm versus realm combat for fame and glory using airships and mechs. You'll also have the ability to customize your very own airship. The beta for Ascent Infinite Realm arrives sometime early 2018. Gonna be pretty interesting to watch this one, see how the game performs and what kind of audience it captures. Probably safe to say it's not gonna move 20 million copies before it even launches like its older brother, but I'll be very curious to see if Battlegrounds put Bluehole on the map enough to really win a bigger audience for their games. We'll see. The whole world has been waiting to see more of Death Stranding, but Guillermo del Toro is going to be getting to watch some fairly soon apparently. So that's one person. Now the rest of us. Del Toro told IGN in a recent interview, "It's been great as a friendship and it's been great as a learning experience. In Death Stranding, I'm just a puppet. I don't know what he's gonna make me do. He's supposedly going to show me the gameplay at some point in the next couple of weeks." Now we got details about some DLC involving The Last Jedi for the upcoming Star Wars Battlefront 2. The free content, which EA is calling The Last Jedi Season, will begin releasing on December 5th in the game's multiplayer mode. You'll be able to choose a side, First Order or New Republic, and complete faction quests for special rewards. Then we'll get new heroes on December 13th, which will include Captain Phasma and Finn. Oh, and a new single-player mission will also release on December 13th, where you'll play as Iden Versio during the days of the First Order's rise to power. There will also be new maps and vehicles releasing that day, so that should be a lot of fun. Battlefront 2 itself is releasing really soon. It's November 17th for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, or you can get the deluxe edition and play a few days earlier on November 14th. Sonic Forces is out this week and right on schedule. The Sonic Twitter handle is throwing shade at itself and the rest of the industry. The social media account announced a parody of the game, Sonic Horses, on Twitter. They also talked about the fake game's microtransaction model, which is where the shade really comes in. They wrote, "Please note, Sonic Horses is actually just a series of RNG lockboxes. Each lockbox has one of 200 possible tiny horses inside. You can customize your tiny horses with additional tiny accessory RNG lockboxes. Lockboxes are awarded after 200 hours of gameplay or for 50 in Sonic bucks. Message received. Sonic message received." Switch owners won't have any objection to this next story. Hopefully, I don't imagine. Anyway, it looks like Ace Attorney is going to be headed to the console. Wall Street Journal reporter Takashi Mochizuki tweeted that Capcom's COO said the company is developing Switch titles aimed at release after April next year, and that includes the Ace Attorney franchise. As for what else or what the details are, not really sure yet. Someone asked Mochizuki if Mega Man might be coming as well. He replied that only Ace Attorney has been mentioned. Still, more good news for Switch owners, especially those of you who really get into courtroom drama. Come on, it's a great series. It's got musicals. The much talked about port of Doom releases today on the Switch, and so far the reviews from critics are pretty decent. The game has a respectable 80 on Metacritic, a 79 on OpenCritic. While Doom's graphics have been downscaled for the Switch's hardware, reviewers said the port still runs pretty well on the console. Gaming Age said it can't match the visuals of other releases, but at the same time, I don't think it makes any major sacrifices that keep the experience from being enjoyable. Just be aware that there is a considerable difference between the Switch and PS4 and Xbox One versions visually, and I think you'll be fine. Other critics just seemed to be amazed to see Doom on a Nintendo console. Destructoid wrote, "It might not be the prettiest version, but it works, and it was enough to get me to play it all over again." So, Deadpool 2's hype train is officially underway, and rather than kicking things off with a trailer or, some sort of alternate reality game, Fox has opted for a cover featuring Good Housekeeping. Very Deadpool, yep. Naturally, it's filled with all kinds of puns like come for the gift, stay for the package, and how to be a holiday superhero. Oh, and of course there are recipes inside the issue for D's spiced nuts and creamy clam skinny dip, plus a 6-step set of instructions for how to carve a turkey the Deadpool way. Spoiler alert, sounds pretty dangerous. I can only imagine the kinds of shenanigans the Merc with the Mouth will be up to next in the lead up to the film's June 2018 launch. Honestly, the marketing for the first Deadpool was one of the most fun things about it, so it's weird to say I'm happy to see marketing back, but I'm happy to see marketing back. Justice League is out in just 1 week, if you can believe that. It's really coming up. And now we're seeing some of the first early impressions of the movie by critics. Reviewers left some of their thoughts on Twitter this week following an early screening of the film. Not full reviews yet, but early impressions. So far, they're a bit mixed. While many critics who posted thoughts all acknowledged the movie had some pretty serious issues, they did say the team's interactions are very entertaining. Collider's Haley Fouch wrote, "The story is lacking, but the League is great and it's a blast to watch them in action together." And Paul Shirey of JoBlo.com said, "Justice League is a fun, bumpy ride that succeeds in character but fails in narrative. It's a mixed bag of execution that's saved by the actors who rise above the shortcomings to deliver an engaging, funny, and hopeful, yet flawed entry to the DCEU." Honestly, okay, not perfect, but all that sounds way better than most of what we've gotten before, and kind of I think what we were all expecting, so that's great. I don't know, I'm gonna go see it, so I'll let you know what I think for sure. There's a major esports bribery scandal going down in South Korea right now. It involves the Korean Esports Association, which was raided by police, and 2 people have been arrested in a case that involves bribery and embezzlement. Korean media reported that the bribery allegations surfaced after the Esports Association got more than $260,000 from a South Korean shopping channel that apparently has a notorious history of bribery. What does that have to do with esports? Well, the CEO of the Esports Association also previously sat on a government committee with the power to renew the shopping channel's operating license, so yeah, there you go. We'll see how this shakes out, but this could have some pretty serious ramifications in Korean esports, considering that group oversees the country's esports industry, including some of the best pro teams in League of Legends and Overwatch, just to name a few. It's pretty crazy, so we'll see what ends up happening there. All right, that's the news for today. That's everything you got going into the weekend. Let us know what you think of all these stories in the comments down below. To make sure you get news from every corner of the internet every weekday, like this video. If you're new here, subscribe to the know, and please join us for Extra Life. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna get real embarrassing. It can't match the visuals of other releases, but at the same time, Collider's Haley Fouch wrote, is that how you say that name? I did it! I did his name.